peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And this brief video, because now I'm only offering you brief comments. Many of them, but they're all brief. So I don't tax your time and patience. And this brief video returns to the subject, the fascinating subject, which is there in the Quran, in Surah Al-Anbiya, the return of the Jews to the Holy Land 2,000 years after the Lord God had expelled them and banned their return. And we have already explained in previous talks how they came back, who brought them back. And we have identified Gog and Magog. The Christians have data on the subject of Gog and Magog in the Torah, and so do the Jews. But that data in the Torah cannot in any way match the amount of knowledge we have in the Quran on the subject. And what we have in the Quran is now playing out before our eyes in the world. And so our topic for this brief talk is Gog and Magog and the state of Israel. And what is the fate which awaits Gog and Magog in the state of Israel, in the Holy Land. And we return now briefly again to the Quran, where Allah speaks in Surah Al-Anbiya about a town, Qarya, which He destroyed, and the people of the town were expelled by divine decree. Even though He had given the land to them, they were expelled. And then He placed a ban on them that they could never return to this land, to this town, to reclaim it as you could come back as tourists, yes, but you can never return to reclaim this land as your own until when? Until Gog and Magog are released. And Gog and Magog are human beings. Yes, Gog and Magog are human beings because they commit fasad. The cow and the sheep and the mountains and the birds, they don't commit fasad. What is fasad? Fasad is that which corrupts to the extent they can destroy. And Allah has reserved the greatest punishment of all for fasad. And so, Gog and Magog are human beings, but Allah has blessed them, or rather Allah has bestowed upon them power. But they are different from Zulkarnain. They use power to oppress, but he uses power to resist the oppressor and to liberate the oppressed. The contrast is striking. And so, Gog and Magog will bring these people back to that land when they are released, not when they are sent, when they are released. And when they are released with their indestructible power which they use to corrupt and to oppress, they will spread out all over the world. Take control of power in the world and listen to me. If you have the capacity to think, and mashallah, particularly the young ones, they are so bright and they can think. I'm proud of them. This is an event which will occur only once in human history that a powerful, powerful force will emerge on the stage of history. But it'll be people who are using power to oppress, and they will spread out all over the world, and they will take control of power in the world. These people with PhDs in oppression and corruption, and they will bring these people back to that town. Here is the verse in the Quran. Ba'ada'uzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. It was 1994 perhaps, and I was in New York, and it was late in the night, early in the morning, and I was studying the Quran, and I came upon the verse, and like a flash, just like a flash, a blinding flash, Allah bless me to understand this verse. 1994. وَحَرَامٌ عَلَى قَرْيَةٍ أَهْلَكْنَاهَا أَنَّهُمْ لَا يَرْجِعُونَ حَتَّى إِذَا فُتِحَتْ يَأْجُوجُ وَمَأْجُوجُ وَهُمْ مِنْ كُلِّ حَدَبٍ يَنْسِلُونَ وَهُمْ مِنْ كُلِّ حَدَبٍ يَنْسِلُونَ. That astonishing and outstanding scholar of Islam, with such amazing insight and such eloquence and poetic brilliance, Dr. Muhammad Iqbal, he was able to also penetrate this verse of the Quran like no one else had done before him. There was a hint, perhaps, in someone who used to be called Badi'u Zaman in Turkey, in the Ottoman Empire at that time, Said Nursi. There was a hint in him. But apart from that, it was Iqbal who opened the door to understanding of this verse of the Quran about a people who will appear on the stage of history and who would be Gog and Magog, and who would have power and use their power, relentless oppression. Look at what's happening in Gaza today. Relentless oppression. And Iqbal spoke, he wrote in Urdu, the Urdu language. And this is what he said: Khul gaye Yakjuj aur Makjuj. Khul gaye Yakjuj aur Makjuj ke lashkar tamam. All the hordes, all the forces of Gog and Magog have now been released, says Iqbal. Don't bother about the Darul Uloom. They can't penetrate it at all. Iqbal never studied it in Darul Uloom. All the forces of Gog and Magog have now been released. Chashme Muslim dekhle tafsir harfe yansilun. The same word he's directing attention to this verse of the Quran. So Gog and Magog brought them back to the town. Which town is it? And who are the people who were expelled? This is the most important part of this video today. Our Prophet said, as only a prophet could say, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, they have maligned him, they have insulted him, they have told mountains of lies about him for the last 200-300 years. And now Allah is washing it all away. And history is moving in a direction of validating Muhammad, Allah's blessing be upon him, as the last of the prophets of Allah. Do what you want. You cannot stop the recognition of Muhammad, Allah's blessings be upon him, as indeed a true prophet of the one God. You rejected the Messiah. Yes, you said what you said about his mother, and you rejected Muhammad as well, Allah's blessing be upon them. You're going to pay a price for that rejection. And so he said about Gog and Magog, that they will all come to Jerusalem. And they will come to Jerusalem. Of course, he did not use the name Jerusalem. You wouldn't find Jerusalem in the Quran. You wouldn't find Jerusalem in the Hadith. Not at all. The name is Baytul Maqdis. The Arabs call Jerusalem Al-Quds. They don't call it Jerusalem. So that's your name. It's not our name. He said that they will come to Baytul Maqdis, Gog and Magog, in order to attack the true Messiah, Jesus, when he returns. And the Messiah will pray to the Lord God. And then the Lord God will respond and destroy Gog and Magog in Jerusalem. There's more to the subject, how they will be destroyed. But I'm not going to tell you. I want to whet your appetite for knowledge. Go and study. And you could read my books and so on. And so now back to our subject. If Gog and Magog are going to be destroyed in Jerusalem, then this is the only town connected with Gog and Magog. This is the town that is pivotally linked with Gog and Magog. And so when Allah spoke in the Quran about a qaryah, or a town linked with Gog and Magog, we say, of course, forgive me, but I'm fed up. The Darul Uloom will never say it. The people who are shutting the doors of the masjid on me all over, they'll never say it. The town that Allah spoke about in Surah Al-Anbiya of the Quran is Jerusalem. And Iqbal recognized it. And so did my own teacher of blessed memory, Maulana Dr. Muhammad Fadlur Rahman Ansari. And so did I on that night in 1974 in New York. Like a flash, I recognized that this town is Jerusalem. And so therefore, it is I'm going to speak clearly now, I'm going to speak slowly now, because I want you to think, to penetrate events which are now unfolding in that land. The Americans have sent their aircraft carriers and the destroyers. The Americans have sent the Patriot missiles, anti-missile system, and placed them in all the American bases in and around Israel. The British are sending their weapons and the men, and the French are doing, the Germans are doing it. They're all moving towards the Holy Land. Something is happening. And you must be able to connect the dots that come from the Quran. Something is happening. Of course, Russia has responded that this is a threat to us. So Russia has just effected a massive rehearsal of all their nuclear capacity, a drill, to send a message. That's what Russia has done. But that's not our subject. Our subject is the NATO is returning to the region. And I am expecting that it's not going to be weapons alone. It's not going to be the destroyers and aircraft carriers alone. They have an expression, they call it boots on the ground. It's not my expression, it's theirs. So I am expecting that they're going to have to send their troops, send the armed forces, send the Navy into the region. And my insight Once you go in, you will never get out. Once you go in, Allah is sucking you in, and you don't know it. You are being sucked in because your destiny is to be destroyed there. That is why Gog and Magog, who brought the Jews back to the Holy Land to reclaim it as their own, 2,000 years after the Lord God expelled them, Gog and Magog, those who control power in modern Western civilization, are Gog and Magog. But we have a pathetic scholarship, schoolboy scholarship, within our own ranks, who say that Gog and Magog are not yet released into the world. No. Nothing that's happening in the world today is in any way connected with Gog and Magog. Gog and Magog will only be released into the world after the Messiah has been sent. These are people who are asleep. I can't wake them up. So let's leave them alone and move forward. And so this video is meant to invite you to think. An explanation of events unfolding in the Holy Land, which will culminate with the destruction of Gog and Magog. At the time when Gog and Magog are going to be destroyed, the Messiah, their Messiah, Dajjal, has already been killed. And so Israel, at that time, you'll be totally defenseless, and you will then meet the fate that is now awaiting you. Thank you.